Good morning and happy Tuesday. What's going on, Kevin? Good to see you here already. Happy Tuesday, Optimus. Yesterday we ended up getting doing pretty well. We got up to $438 in profit, and then took one very bad and very noobish trade, I might say, and gave up about 800 bucks, putting us red over $400. We did fight our way back and ended positive on the day, 241.12. I wish it could have been slightly more like the 400, because that's kind of the target each and every day. But nonetheless, always grateful to be green and grateful to be growing the account, because that's really what matters along the whole scale of it. So, all right, let's take a quick look at the market calendar. This up here. So today we've got durable good orders, durable good, minus transportation, S&P case Schiller home price index, got it, for 20 cities. Looks like the actual was negative 1.7, so we got a link to this. We also have new home sales. So this is actually kind of a more important day on the economic calendar. U.S. home prices in April, or rise in April, signaling a recovery in this sector. I don't know if I would go and say all that, because 1 month of rise in prices after 7 months of decline in prices doesn't necessarily mean a recovery. Yeah, mortgage rates are still around 7%. It's going to be a bit. We don't have the new home sales or the consumer confidence. That comes out at 7. So it came out about a half an hour ago, but we don't have the updated information for it yet. We just have the forecast on that info. All right. So let's take a look at the market. This is oil. Oil is popping off a little bit from, let's say it fell from yesterday and is coming back up. So oil is looking decent right now. Check it on a 1 minute chart, be a little bit easier to take a look at. I think the S&P's kind of bouncing around quite a bit. Yes, 1 minute on oil looks pretty solid actually. We bounced off VWAP here, fell back down, bounced off the 200 moving average, and came back up straight up through the VWAP. Kind of cooling off now. So I think that this will likely cool off to around 69 or so in this area, and then probably get some bounces off of that. Similarly, the ES, it looks like it's got a lot of activity going on here. 5 minute, we just got a 5 minute crossover actually on the ES, and we're also hitting some resistance levels here at the moment. So this spot, we're kind of starting to break above a little bit. Check this on the 20-second chart. Where are we at? 43.87 today. High of 43.89. Just gonna throw this right here for now. Little interim support zone. All right. You can pull back now. Say look at the 10-second. And the range of the candle we got here, 84. So about 4 ticks. Seems pretty, like, fairly reliable. I was actually going to take that 9, but I was too slow because I was measuring this other stuff. Buy up this drop here.
Order filled.
We filled at 86 and a quarter. There looks to be a pretty fair amount of volatility today.
Order filled.
So first trade of the day up 137. I think I'll probably trade a little bit more careful than what I just did. Although I actually thought it was a pretty reasonable trade. Just because the volatility of this looks pretty crazy. 43.89 is the high. We're kind of coming up and bouncing these highs. But also on the TTM on the 1 minute side, you see we're getting these. You see we're getting these red dots and some cooling off on the TTM. So this actually might be consolidation a little bit. These price areas though, looks like an ascending wedge or the upward flag or whatever. A lot of volatility there in the on the yes today. Oil had a nice little short opportunity from 25. So right here on oil, I can see the argument for both short and long. Yes, looking for another breakout, looks like. What up, Tiny? Good to see you. Yes, higher home prices do keep a lot of the regular folk from buying. I think that the biggest thing that's keeping regular folk from buying really had a lot to do with inflation, because 3 years ago your buying power was, I don't know, almost 5 times what it is today. So it's pretty crazy. Like if you look at inflation calculators from 2019, just 4 years ago, and compare them to today, like the rate is just gnarly. And yeah, I agree. There does seem to be some resistance there. Because we're always measuring inflation like this, like month over month type situation, but rarely are we like, okay, well, what does it look like over the last like 3 years? And it's just something that just seems to be endlessly ignored by media outlets. So yeah, like it's 19% cumulative inflation since 2019. Take a look at this. So here we are. This is one of my favorite inflation calculators, actually. It's usinflationcalculator.com. And I just really like this one. It's super simple to use. If in 2019, $100, then in 2023, $100 is $118.96. Lost 19% of your buying power. Like, that is unreal. So in reality, if homes went up 20%, did the price of homes actually go up 20%, or did they actually stay the same in relation to the flow of currency? I think it's also really important too that when we talk about money, we're not talking necessarily about money as much as we're talking about currency. Money is money is like these paper things that we use in exchange. We used to be in exchange for gold, but now it's just in exchange for goods and services. Not the same thing. Uh, so I try to think about money in terms of currency as a flow because it's really just a flow. In my opinion, it's like a flow of liquid if you really think about it. And also too, when you think about it, uh, that's why we call it liquidity. That's why people say, "Oh, I'm not liquid right now." It really is that same reference to money being a currency and not just the dollar bill. So that's kind of how I think about it. So I straight think about it just in terms of buying power. Yeah, numbers are only manipulated for so long though, Tiny. So like it's a lot easier to find numbers that are actually older, if you will. Because by that point, the general market, like the everyday people, they have the opportunity, the open source information, if you will, has the opportunity to interpret the data and apply it on real time scales. So when you're looking for information that's a little bit older, it's typically a little bit better. When it's very, very, very fresh, like in that moment, it can be hard to get real data. This is a nice pop here. What we missed. Kind of had resistance there about 87, 87.50 or so. So we just have that one trade at the moment. I'm going to wait for another. Looks like that short on oil would have been a good idea. Although oil looks like it's starting to turn around. But on this 10, you've got this 5200 cross on both oil and ES. So I'm kind of expecting a drop inbound on both. ES is up 15 bucks off the close from yesterday. Oh. Nice little pop there on the ES.
Order filled.
Took a long at 85.75. I get out at 86.75. But you know what? I don't love this trade, so I'm gonna drop this down. Oh, actually, I love that trade. It worked. Nice. That's fun. Up 275 on the day. I took that trade based off the science switch and this moving average crossover here. The reason why I didn't love the trade is because it kind of stalled there a little bit before popping up. And then also, we're getting so close to the 5200 on a downwards cross here. But ES don't seem to care. Worried about like a contract dump or something. There's a lot of volatility and liquidity in the market today, so I don't know why I said liquidity, just volatility. Liquidity is something different entirely. Got a nice bump a few minutes ago. Hell yeah. NQ looking weak. ES and oil is also starting to look weak too. Fun. I mean, ES might have some strength left in it, but when I go to like the 1 minute chart, like there's a lot of sell off here on the TTM, and then on the 10-second chart, it's really close to a downward cross. So ES, if NQ is looking weak too, and oil is also looking weak, then I think that we might start seeing some drops in the market. There's oil falling down some. Currently up 275 on the day. ES looks like he's still trying. Keeps falling down and popping right back up. Gonna miss this pop. That was a nice little 8-tick. Got this little cup and handle set up here on the 1 minute side on the ES. I'm just chilling right now. I'm gonna look for something that's like a setup that fits my strategy very well. That I totally understand, Pawn. I actually needed to do that yesterday, um, and I literally bought a FOMO trade yesterday, so it's up like 440 almost 438. And I bought a FOMO trade on a super noob like situation. Like I bought into resistance, I bought into the 200 moving average on the 1 minute chart, and I bought into the resistance of the volume weighted average price yesterday. And I was just like, oh my gosh, why did I do that? And as it pulled back and sort of like began to bounce around and whatnot, I was like, okay, it looks like we're just gonna get a pullback and a pop up, and I just kept holding it through it, and I was like, is it just feels off to me, and sure enough, I lost like $800, put myself from green 400 to red 400, and then had to work my way back up. At the end of the day, up like 240, I think. But nonetheless, it's just like it should have walked away at that point. You know what I'm saying? Didn't need to go through that. So I totally understand. If you gotta walk away, man, just walk away when you feel it. So the ES did pop off that. It continued to pop. So that little cup and handle did work out. It's also an ABCD on the 1 minute chart. Made a new high there at 43.90. New high in the day anyway. Going up on the top of the hour as well. We have a flag up here at the top too. Also a double top. Which on a 1 minute chart is just a single top. But like for an entry off of like 87.50 or so. But I think I want to see a pullback to that area. I don't want to buy into these highs. Yeah, I'm kind of watching the 1 minute chart right now. Here's 87, 86.50 area. So in just sheer looking at the chart, like I don't mind this zone just because it's been acting as resistance so much. So now it kind of feels like it might act as support, but it is some cooling off on the TTM on a bunch of red dots. Look at this 10-second. Yeah, okay, so this is bouncing off of the EMA 50.
Order filled.
Took a long off 88.25. Look for a move to 89.25.
Order filled.
All right. So up 413 on the day. I told myself once I hit $400, that's when it's time to start thinking about walking away. You've taken 3 trades today? Yeah. This is a nice trade, actually. I really liked this trade. It was just a nice bounce off the EMA 50. We got in off the 9 bounce. Worked out quite nicely. Up 98 near 25K, was up 200. Yeah, like if you feel like, I don't know, sometimes I think that we have the intuition and we just sort of like feel what needs to be there. Like what actions we should take, and sometimes we don't always listen to that. So I'm asking myself, should I walk away? I mean, I'm up 413.28 on the day. And then I'm like, I've got a couple of things going on in my head right now. Number one is we're very close to earning this funding. And so, you know, I have the question to myself is, I don't want to jeopardize that. And then I also don't want to end up in like an overtrade type situation. But I thought we did a really good job on this trade. One of the things I was actually proud of with this trade is when I was talking a lot about like the CPI data and inflation and stuff, this whole rip happened. And I was actually kind of feeling FOMO through here, but I didn't buy into it. I waited for the pullback and I waited for some strength to come in. And then sort of bought into that, the beginning of that strength. And that was the whole intention behind this trade. And that's actually one of the reasons why I actually like that trade, is because I took the time to be patient, to look for it, to look for that opportunity. So oil up too. Oil's riding along 69. Seemingly finding support there. We're getting quite a few drop downs. 69 seems to be oil's support line. What up, Origin Code? Joel, stop trading. Okay. I actually feel I feel patient today, Origin. So I'm not I'm not giving into that where I just need to keep on trading. Bullish on the MES, yeah. The ES is kind of bullish too, but there's a lot of volatility on it, so it could easily get contract dumped. Yeah, it is a much better feeling when I'm feeling that I have the ability to be patient. I am not a patient person, or at least how do I put this? I was a patient person up until around the time that I was like 17, 18 years old. And then I just became a significantly impatient person. And I think it was really because like I was trying to get out of poverty and just trying to get into a position in life to where I didn't have to worry about eating um, or like just having gas in my car or paying rent. And and it got to the point to where I think that like I just got tired of hearing a lot of people talk with very little action. I remember I'd go on like job interviews and they'd be like, "Okay, well, we're definitely interested, and we would like for you to start." And then I'm like, "Great!" And then they're like, "In about 6 months, we'll put your hire date out there." And I'm like, "Oh, I gotta make this work for 6 more months." Or if it wasn't that, it'd be like this whole long interview process, and be like, "Okay, we're gonna start you at 10 cents above minimum wage." And I'm like, "What?" So I think that's I think that sort of built a lot of impatience into me, which stuck around for quite a long time. That and then I was also like really into like racing cars for a long time, and so I'd often want to go really fast. And I think trading is definitely not about going fast. Um, it's really just about being patient, waiting. While the ES did pull back up and hit highs, just drop down to this 87 area. Very this is like the same channel setups that we had yesterday, just in reverse. If you see what I'm talking about right there. We sort of have this zigzag thing. Oh, and then we have like a midline. Right there. Oh, I don't want that thing chilling there. Sometimes it sort of trips me out, like when you or click in the chart, and then it just like pulls up a little buy order. You're like, whoa, 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 I wasn't trying to buy nothing. Boom, 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 boom. That's what I was seeing there. So Let's go ahead and pull this up, actually, if you don't mind, Tiny. Well, I'll ask. Let's just ask, Tiny. Would you like us to review your trade here on the stream? And Q with a tightening wedge. Let's take a look at it. Wow, look at them candles. So micro. Hopefully our little drawing thing will pop up here. Come on. Yeah. Let's click off. We'll click back on. Alright, so I see what you're talking about with this. I'm assuming this is what you're speaking in reference to. Lines are a little off, but close enough. I'm assuming that's what you're speaking in reference to, right, Paul? It's funny. I've gotten so used to trading my own strategy that I've seemingly forgot a lot of the other information that I learned about, like, tightening wedges, certain flags and stuff. I remember a lot of the flag stuff, but some of the other aspects of, like, up channels and down channels and whatnot. I remember how to do basic technical analysis a lot of the time, like, because I use that every day, and how to trade my own strat, and then how to trade some other strategies that are more or less long based, since that's just sort of how I started. Since crypto and both crypto and stocks, for the most part, you can only go long unless you have access to margin. Yep. So Pawn was highlighting the same thing that that we're highlighting here, right here. That tiny wedge that he mentioned that he brought into brought to everyone's attention. By the way, nice profit there on your account. Good job, Pawn. My tip ranks up there. If anybody hasn't used tip ranks before, not sponsored or anything, but I actually really quite like their analyst data. Their analyst data is pretty good. Their little smart score thing, it's usually pretty accurate, at least in my findings. So we broke out of this channel. You can see we're kind of on a pullback now. We're actually dropping below the EMA 50 on a red candle on the TTM. Oil found that support off 69 that I mentioned and is now pushing up. Oil is pushing up on this sort of shorter time frame, and this 5200 is still somewhat inbound, but you can see the 50 is beginning to curve upward, sort of solidifying this move. And if the EMA 35, this blue line here, gets back above the 50, this move will be, in my opinion, likely pretty solid. At least for a potential move up to like 69.25, where this area acted as resistance already. And yeah, we had a few pop-ups above it, but really is, I think 69.25 is the area on oil. And actually, oil just got a silent switch too. Not to mention this 912 26 crossover. So this actually looks like a pretty good trade on oil for a long especially if there was a pullback to like 69 10 or 69.05 area, somewhere right in this zone, right where this red candle's at right now, and a pullback all the way as low as the 9 EMA, which is at 69.05 right now. But anywhere in between this zone, I think, is a reasonable entry point. You got this additional pullback here to 69.05 zone on this CTM switch. There's 69.03, 02, and then it pulled down to the EMA 50 at 69.01. So we'll see if we actually get a bounce here. It looks like it's going to. It's kind of in a state of flux right now, as the markets always are. I appreciate that, Tiny. I actually do quite appreciate that. I'm trying to be, I don't know, the best trader in the world, if you will. I'm working on it. Every journey with one step, right? So we're just chilling here now. We've already hit our profits on the day. That straight up rejected. We've already hit our profit target, so we're up 413.28 on the day. So I'm just chilling. I'm not really taking any trades anymore. Just sort of doing tech analysis throughout this. And believe me, I've had a couple of spots while looking through this tech analysis where I'm like, ooh, that actually looks like a reasonable entry. Like, that looks like a pretty good spot. I think it's going to go this way, that way, or the other way. But either way, I'm not trading anymore. So I already hit my profits, trying to stick with that, because what would be the point unless I'm pulling, like, bringing it up to like $700 or so. And I don't really want to try for that at this particular point in time. I think that's something that I want to try for when I have, I guess, closer to like $4,000 or $5,000 in margin available, as opposed to where I'm at right now, which is $2,000 on the trailing max. So really, I think that would be something that's after earning funding and after building up a large enough account balance to where that going for profits like that seems more reasonable. Yes, turn it around, breaking through that channel and that median trend to pull down all the way back to the volume weighted average price down there at 82. Oil contract dump. Yikes. Let's take a look at it. Whoa. Oh, yeah. Well, this was that spot that I was watching where I was like, that actually seems like a reasonable entry right there. And then bam. I imagine that a fair amount of buyers were expecting it to go back to 69.25. NQ kind of pulling back up a little bit. ES pulled all the way back to the view app. ES is starting to look weak, in my opinion. I think ES is definitely bullish on the day. I don't think there's much question about that. And it looks like it had a red to green at the open. I'm just looking for that opening spot. Here's the open of the market right there. So market opened with a pop and drop. And then went, it just popped off the EMA 50. And then just almost immediately started channeling out. Just about like a half hour in or so. So I think today, how many trades did we take? We took 3 trades. We got 100% accuracy. I don't really want to risk anything, so I think I'm probably gonna walk away. My longest trade was 15 seconds. Every trade we took was a 4-tick trade with 3 contracts, so worth $150 a piece. And every trade had the potential for like a 5 to 7 tick move. So this is bouncing off a VWAP nice on the ES right there, off of about 83, lower 82s, getting a red to yellow on the 1-minute chart, which is usually a very powerful move. And you can see the power behind it right there. It's a nice 12 ticks over 2 minutes, which is pretty strong. This was one of the last red to yellow moves, was after that channel began. So you got this sell off here and then this red to yellow, and that ripped up all the way up into the highs from down there at 76 area, 75, pulling up all the way up to 90. This is bouncing off of the 83 area, 82, 25 area, and ripping all the way up to 86. So like 15, 16 ticks available in this move. That actually looks pretty solid, in all honesty. Switch to 102 micros. That is a good advice. I think we'll do that instead of continuing to trade on the full size. Nice job, Pawn. It's like the 90 to 192. Hell yeah. And then holding 480 in the 50K. Dude, kick ass, man. That's badass. I'm really proud of you, homie. This was a really solid move that we called out on that red to yellow. That view at bounce there. It's kind of a longer cup and handle, which means that while I expect this to push back up, I do expect some pullback to probably this 87 area. I don't know the actual pullback zone yet because we haven't really finished the top. And then I think that this might come up and test the highs, but in truth, I think that 90 is going to act as a really solid resistance point. But with this taking this time to sell off and consolidate right here, that leaves more opportunity for upward move, less exhaustion. So yeah, I don't think that I even want to trade in the minis. I just want to hold my profit. Even though like market looks great. Like today seems like a day that's actually perfectly set up for my strategy. But you know, as much as I see that though, it's at the same time it's like how much of it is like how much of your strategy is just holding your account in good standing, you know what I mean? Solid trade-off available right there on this pullback and then a pop off that. Switching to one contract on the micro.
Order filled.
So in at 87.75 on one single contract, and I'm looking for this push to 89.50. I actually think that this is going to push higher, but yeah. And gonna take that profit there.
Order filled.
Maybe like a little buck or so. $250. There's that rip. Yeah. So the full thing was available there. I think we'll actually end up coming up and testing highs. This little pullback here, I think would look nice. I think a lot of buyers are going to pile into this. I just don't want to risk any more capital, so. Block sale notification on Apple. $9,000 share sale on Apple, huh? ES is ripping nicely. There's that top. New high. I think the ES has room up to 94 where this little dotted line is. All right. Market still looks really good. And as much as I want to still trade it, I'm going to go ahead and jump off here. I'm going to jump into the Discord community and write my reflection and my results on the day. And I'm just going to walk away here, take my $415 or so, and call it good. And we'll be back tomorrow to earn funding. So there definitely was that op on that pop there to actually take that. There was, I don't know, 20 ticks or so available in that. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and shut off the stream and walk away. So much love and appreciation, y'all. I'll see you tomorrow, and let's get this funny, huh? See y'all in the Discord community.